Welcome to the channel. In this video I'll be discussing if you should buy a €1 property in Italy. Yes, €1 property. So let's start with the article from Forbes.com. This southern Italian town will pay you $30,000 to move there. So not only you pay just €1 to buy the property, but this town, which is actually not that small, 10,000 people live, about 10,000 people live there, will give you also a grant of up to €30,000 for those who buy a house and register the residency in the town. So this particular opportunity is only for the people who want to permanently move there and move the residency. This is actually checked by the city council, so someone will eventually, I think in the first few weeks since you register, we'll go and check if you're really living there. You know, if you're just pretending you don't, they'll definitely catch you, so be careful with that. This town looks like, it seems like a nice church and great architecture. So let's talk about what's happening in Italy, in particular southern Italy, in the rural areas or the towns and villages in the mountains. So it seems like in Italy there's a depopulation, the massive scale in these locations. So these towns are desperate to find new people, especially young people, because most of the people would be elderly and they definitely don't contribute to the economy that much. They want hopefully to get young couples with children, and they'll try all this to give you all these grants. You get directly an opportunity to buy these properties. I think there's usually an estate agent looking after those properties. Of course, you know, it's not just gonna be €1 your expense, but these properties are usually dilapidated, and so even if they don't look that bad from the outside, they require full renovation, which can be actually quite costly in after COVID almost everywhere in the world. So in this jump pack video I will go through all the steps. I will put together all the information you need to make your decision, and at the end my conclusion. The last opportunity I noticed area is Campobasso. 8 houses available. You can see the English version here, so directly on their website. I think you need to be quite quick to contact them, because these €1 houses are now well known around the world. So I think there's starting to get quite a bit competition. I would recommend you, if you're interested, to act quite quickly. Another great resource is the idealista.it website. It gives you a full list of all the properties for sale in all the locations, like Sicily, Basilicata, Sardinia. My favorite are Sicily. I think they're just amazing places, but there's really great opportunities, and you can see others here. Countryside, there's usually good wine and good food. What is the big advantage of buying a property in these areas? There's a new scheme introduced in 2019 which allows you to claim a flat tax of 7% on all your foreign income. Could be pension, could be interest, dividends, rental income, capital gains, and there's no income cap on that. The list of locations where you can apply for this scheme are all in the south of Italy, and these towns have to have a population that is lower than 20,000 people. To qualify for that is not that difficult. You just have to live outside Italy in the last 5 years, so it's not that bad. For digital nomads, there's also another opportunity. I checked, there are 2 options. There's another 5% flat tax for the first 5 years on a percentage of your gross income, typically 78%. for the self-employed earning up to 75,000 a year. And there's also another scheme, a 70-90% exemption in calculating earned income subject to tax. This relief is available to both the employed and self-employed. So absolutely a good scheme, not just for the retirees, but also for mostly, let's say, digital nomads. I've seen a few of these schemes in other countries, Greece, Spain. So I guess the Italian government decided to act as well, to give also more reasons to relocate to these locations. Here are a few other expenses that, of course, when you buy a property in Italy, the process is the same for any location, and you have to pay stamp duty if that's your primary residence. That equals 2% of the cadastral value of the property. Cadastral value is a very complex calculation, so it's not the value of the property. The market value is a much lower amount. It's something that only the city council can calculate and let you know what it is. If you are not gonna be resident there, so if the property is a secondary home, you're gonna pay 9% tax, stamp duty tax. And then you have other expenses if you buy with a company. There's other small taxes like for land registry tax and mortgage tax. VAT is of course for new properties. There's a breakdown here of all the various taxes and expenses. Of course you have solicitor fees, that is called notary tax in Italy. Real estate agent fees, if you buy through an agency, that could be quite costly, between 1 and 5%. I think the average is probably 2-3%. Not a big deal for 1 euro property, of course. It's not going to be much a big fee for sure. This is another good resource, the oneeurohouses.com. It gives you a full list of the opportunities for any of the areas in Italy. Interesting questions. So you would be expected to pay between 2,000 and 600 in closing costs. Then you'll have to renovate the property. Realistically, it's going to be a full renovation. So I would say, if you want decent standards, you would probably have to pay at least 30 to 50,000, and more if you want, if the property is bigger and if you want better finishes. This is an estimated cost of between 600 and 800 per square meter for a property that needs significant renovation. And I tell you what I've seen, those 1 euro properties are all, they all need that kind of money. Sometimes I think you're better off buying a newer property in those locations. You might be spending maybe between 20 and 30,000, but you don't have to do a full renovation like the 1 euro properties, where there's definitely structural issues. So the structure needs to be completely rebuilt. Most of these properties didn't have proper foundations and insulation. So in particular in the mountains, the winter could be cold. So don't think that just because you move into southern Italy and there'll be sunshine and warm weather all year round is not the case. The winters are not long, but they definitely are cold. Consider insulation needs to be done. The issue with these properties is they are in the old town center, so they are all kind of on top of each other. So if you really like a property with a bit of space for a car, with a bit of a garden, most of the time you're not going to have that. So you need to like that kind of life, in the middle of the town or the village. In general, as I said, the young people leave these locations because there's no work, and they're quite far from other cities where there is work. So you will be surrounded by elderly people, so there's not going to be much vibrancy, entertainment around, theaters, cinemas, events. You'll have to travel a lot to get to those locations where there's a bit of entertainment. Sometimes the roads to get to these locations are not great. There's big potholes, of course, because not many people live here. Maintenance leave a lot to be desired. In general, in Italy, healthcare is good. So even if you are old, if you're not in good health, healthcare is quite good. Doesn't cost much, even if you go private, which I definitely recommend, because waiting lists could be really big. So if you don't speak Italian, it's gonna be difficult for you, because the locals will definitely not speak any foreign language. Bureaucracy in Italy is an absolute nightmare. So if you're gonna go through renovation and all the rest, all the buying process, you have to rely on local people, absolutely. And it's in Italy, you can't really do everything online, so there's going to be a lot of visits to the city council, and Italy is not that advanced with the technology, so don't be prepared if you're coming from a country like maybe Northern European countries or US. This could be a bit of a shock. So be prepared for that. Bureaucracy, it's a nightmare in general in Italy. Even if there's technology that can help you, it's still complicated even for the Italians. So these are I think the cons. Apart from that, I think it's a great opportunity for people who want to retire and don't have much, don't have big pension or other income. People who are digital nomads, definitely they can be resident there. To be resident, you have to remember that you need to live there at least 6 months. It's not like other countries where you can be resident but spend less time, like maybe some countries I heard like 30 days or sometimes not even that. So this could be a minus for some people. And because these houses cost very little, also for holidays, could be good if you spend some time. Most of these schemes are for people who want to live there permanently. There are some schemes, if you definitely check, which allow you to then set up a B&B, rent out the rooms, so you could see it as a business maybe if you don't want to live there all year round or for a long time during the year. So you can even buy several properties and kind of create like a guest house or even a small hotel. That's a great opportunity in my opinion.
Thank you for joining us today. If you find this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more informative content. Bye for now.